Hey traders, Raghee here, and we're going to dive into this significant move in crude that we saw today. Now, this is not that much larger a candle than we just saw on the 11th of this month. That was nearly a 5.5 point range. Today was about a 4.5 point range. What these two pullbacks have in common is a singular level, and that is this 13, and I use the simpler propulsion tool, which is a free indicator that you can get from countdowntrader.com. This is how I differentiate moving averages that are likely to be a higher quality support or resistance level versus just having the moving averages on my chart. Think of these as smart exponential moving averages that have the ability to turn on and not turn off. So you'll notice this is on, right? That yellow dot represents where the 13 EMA would be on this crude oil chart. So the question is, where to next? And ultimately what we have is another test of the 13 EMA. Basically, as the equity markets had their little sigh of relief rally based upon now expectations that tensions won't heighten between the Russians and the Ukraine. The equity markets headed higher and crude oil pulled back. Remember, crude oil is not heading higher because of tensions, because of geopolitical tensions. Crude oil is moving higher really because of two reasons. One, OPEC managing supply, and two, and probably more importantly, inflation. The why matters. Neither one of these two reasons is a twitchy, temporary reason. They're not permanent, but they're a little bit longer time horizon reasons. And good old-fashioned grocery store commodities, crude oil would be part of that conversation, have been moving higher since the beginning of the year. Excellent structure. How do we know the structure? Down here, 8, 13, 21, 34 EMAs indicating that we have both bullish momentum and bullish trend. That is a buy the dip environment. It's a trending market. We'll trade it as such. Structure dictates strategy. Strategy dictates indicators. So the trend is what gets me looking at a strategy of buy the dip, and the propulsion and the wave tell me the indicators that I want to watch to do that. All right, so buy the dip, 13 EMA, well, that's a pretty quick conversation, right? But let's talk about what the implications are elsewhere. What are the implications for RBOB gas? That too is a buy the dip off the 13 EMA, right? Where else does this play out? Well, this is where being a futures trader and understanding that when the commodities domino falls, there are oil stock implications. Pullback on XLE. We haven't seen a pullback to the 21 exponential moving average since the beginning, or I should say the middle of January. And here we are, kind of the middle of February, getting another opportunity. Look, these don't come that often. This was one a month ago, another one. So we want to be opportunistic when they happen. Again, broadly, look at the OIH. We haven't seen a pullback towards the 21 or even into the wave since, again, that same mid-January. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on the 21 propulsion. That's where the 21 EMA is, for an opportunity there. And then, of course, we can crack open those ETFs. Let's talk about individual stocks and outperformers. So here you have the Tide, XLE in the upper left-hand corner, and the individual boats, the individual stocks listed in order of their weighting within the XLE Energy Select SPDR ETF. Well, all of these are beautiful bullish momentum, bullish trends. So the pullbacks are what's important. And a couple interesting pullbacks to 21 EMAs. We've got Exxon, 21 EMA, Chevron, 21 EMA, EOG, 21 EMA, Schlumberger, ConocoPhillips. Go down the list and you'll see quite a few of these names that they're 21. These top five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are the heaviest weighted by percentage within the XLE. So one of the best ways to play all 5 of these is to trade the XLE, right? And this is, again, the consequence of crude oil pulling back. So this is what's so great about it. Again, those dominoes falling. When you understand crude oil's pulling back, where else can you look for opportunity aside from, say, crude oil futures, micro crude, USO calls? You can look at the oil stocks, right? And the same thing will go for the OIH. So I hope this gives you some things to think about and the ability to build a watch list, because remember, again, what you trade is actually even more important than how you trade it. In other words, if you're looking long and you're a breakout trader or you're a buy the dipper, both those are long positions and both of them will work in an environment where the path of least resistance is moving higher. So again, what you trade, what you focus on for the opportunity is even more important than the actual strategy, as long as you're focused on that path of least resistance. And that's where crude oil is a really interesting, wonderful setup. It leaves many opportunities in its wake. And we'll talk about these opportunities, of course, in Charts and Coffee. Join me for our pregame show each and every morning at the Simpler Trading YouTube channel at 9 a.m. It's a 20-minute Q&A show where I take your questions. And then, of course, at 9:20, you can go into your respective rooms here at Simpler Trading. And even if you're not a member, come join us at Charts and Coffee. I love that conversation that we have there in that show. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions, leave them right here at the Simpler Trading YouTube channel. Smash that like button for me. Let me know that this is the kind of information that's helping move the needle for you, or let me know what kind of information would, okay? As always, thanks for the time. Let me know maybe what your favorite oil stock is right now in this environment. Leave it in the comments. I'll see you in Charts and Coffee, and I'll see you in the next update. Hey traders, Raghee from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment below. And remember, subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll get notified of the next update. And when you're ready to join me for live trading, be sure to head on over to simplertrading.com. I'll see you in the next update.